City. I'm here with Diamante, Diamante. Diamante, what's going on, man?
Man, just cooling out. We're here at the Capitale, New York City for the World Press Tour of Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua, the rematch clash on the dunes. It's a big fight, man.
Are you headed out to Saudi Arabia for that?
Of course, absolutely.
Doing out there?
This will be my second fight out there. I did the very first one ever in the KSA, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It was the George Groves and Callum Smith final for the World Boxing Super Series. That was the first fight ever.
So assuming that you have been out there, there was like some, I guess some backlash. It was kind of low key, but some backlash based on that. I'm assuming you don't feel that way, right? You don't have any.
Well, I don't get involved in politics, man. This is sports. This is my job. So I you know, that's what we're doing to fight. That's what I'm gonna be.
All right. What's your prediction on this fight? Who do you think has the upper hand going into it?
Well, I think this is without a doubt the most anticipated, the biggest fight on the planet. This is a huge fight. Heavyweight championship of the world. There's nothing like it. You know, one punch power. All these guys have that stuff that could change everything. So it's just super exciting to see. You know, you look back in history, 1935, you got James Braddock beating Max Baer. That's the Cinderella Man fight. You know, he was never able to do that again. Ingemar Johansson, the Swedish guy, fought Floyd Patterson, also an Olympic gold medalist, also a heavyweight champion of the world. He beat him in the first fight. That was in Yankee Stadium. That was in that fight was in 1959, and he was not able to do that again. They fought 3 times. He lost both the rematch and the rubber match. You look at Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. He wasn't able to do that. But then you look at other upsets in heavyweight history. You look at Sonny Liston and Cassius Clay. At the time, Cassius Clay, he was able to create a beautiful heavyweight legacy after that. Holyfield also beat Tyson in '96. Was able to do it again. Then Rockman, 2001, South Africa. Hasim Rockman against Lennox Lewis. He wasn't able to recreate it. So history goes both ways. You're not sure. Is it going to go the way of Johansson and Braddock, or is it going to go the way of Holyfield and Ali? We'll see. I think that AJ is going to have to make some adjustments. I think he needs to back his man up. I think in the first fight, Ruiz had a really stiff jab, good head movement. He backed AJ up. I think this time, AJ needs to have the stiff jab. He needs to control the center of the ring. It's going to be an interesting fight.
A lot of people are saying actually the opposite, and I agree with you. People are saying that he needs to move and use a jab and use distance and try to get away from Ruiz. But it would seem to me, based on the first fight, that Ruiz is maybe a little too athletic and maybe a little too quick for that. And I don't know that Joshua can get out of the way quick enough, right?
Well, I think anytime you have a world-level fight and world-level fighters, what makes them special is they got to make adjustments. Right. So you come in with plan A, plan B, plan C, all the way down to plan Z. You know, that's where you wear the belt and the suspenders. Belt snaps, you've got your braces on. So that's what it is, right? You got to have a backup plan. So, but to me, if I watch the first fight, I want to see AJ putting that jab out there for real. It's not that difficult. I mean, it's not that it's not difficult, but it's not that complicated. It's double jab, right hand, double jab, right hand. I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's pretty simple and basic, but it works. Look at Lennox Lewis. Look at the Klitschko's. That's the formula. He's a big guy. He can do that, but he needs to put it out there. You need that jab in Ruiz's face. If he doesn't taste anything he doesn't like, he's going to come forward and he's going to pepper you. You know, you can't do that. Can't respect that.
Where do you think? I mean,
you can't let him disrespect you. You got to throw the jab in his face.
Right. Let's just say if it doesn't go AJ's way. I mean, where do you think he goes from there?
Well, I think there's still plenty of fights for him. I mean, you know, people always say styles make fights, and it's a very true statement. So sometimes guys' styles just don't match up. Guys can't beat certain guys. Doesn't mean there aren't other great fights out there for AJ and for Ruiz.
I feel like AJ might match up better with Wilder than maybe Ruiz. You agree with that assessment?
Well, maybe he will, maybe he won't. I mean, that is yet to be seen, yet to be determined. But it's one of those things, like I said, styles make fights. So you look at these guys over history who fought each other, and Foreman, Frazier, Ali, the different styles, who could beat who in what type of way. It can really depend on the style. So I think there's plenty more fights for him if he doesn't win, but if he wins, of course, there are other great fights too. So it's going to be interesting to see. I can't wait for this fight. Like I said, it's the most anticipated fight on the planet.
Well, let's talk about the second most anticipated fight on the planet. Logan Paul, KSI. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know too much about those guys, you know, but I'm going to be doing some research and finding out. I know they're supposedly turning pro. It's going to be at Staples Center.
Right.
You know, looking forward.
Gloves.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know about their skills, so I have to go and do my research on those guys.
Well, I'll tell you this, right? Because I saw that fight before, just as a sideshow kind of thing to watch. Logan Paul is actually pretty athletic. I mean, he's not a professional boxer, but if you watch him, he's got like amateur boxing skills, and he's only spent like 3 months in the ring, so it's not the worst thing to look at. Do you feel like the fact that they're going to be making a ton of money off of that fight, that like perhaps maybe Eddie Hearn would have to explain to other fighters in his stable why these guys are making so much, and maybe?
No, I mean, first of all, I think it's great for the sport. If you're bringing new eyes to the sport, that's a great thing. It's boxing. And I'll tell you this, it doesn't all have to be world championship level caliber. I mean, I've been doing fights for many, many years. We do a lot of fights in leisure centers and small halls, and you get club fighters that fight their heart out. So these guys might not be on a world championship level. That doesn't mean they're not going to fight their heart out. It could be a great show.
Right. And the fact that it's competitive, because I think some people are comparing it like to Mayweather-McGregor, whereas maybe that fight was probably even going to be less competitive than
that fight. You had one of the all-time greats against a guy making his pro debut. It's a different situation completely.
So in this instance, I think it seems
it's a different
maybe
situation.
Even a little bit more exciting to watch two guys that are maybe more evenly matched.
Well, that's it. You want parity. You want an even matchup. That's what makes a good fight.
Anything you want to tell us? Tell your fans. Anything you need to announce? Social media, where to follow you?
Just look. I appreciate it. We're out here doing it. We got a lot of great fights coming up. Next week we're at the Garden for Devin Haney and Abdulayev. We just came from the O2 in London with Lomachenko and Campbell. There's a lot of great stuff coming up. This fight is very exciting, and I'm on all the social media at David Diamante. So check it out. We're traveling the world. We're having fun. We're doing fights.
Do you know if on next week's fight, if Serrano and Hardy got bumped up to co-main right now because Daniel Roman dropped out?
We'll wait to see what happens with that. But again, there's another great fight on there too, because you've got the Michael Hunter and Sergey Kuzman. That's a really good fight. I was looking forward very much to Roman and MJ. Hopefully that fight does get rescheduled.
Hey, thanks a lot, man.
You got it,
so
brother.
much for your time.
All right, thank you. Fight hype.